At the beginning, I have an English accent when I speak English, and after 10 minutes you are going to see I have a French accent, but we don't mind about that. I have no advices to give to you in Tbilisi because we went out yesterday evening. Yes, sure, you begin to know that because, and it was so great. Your night is so great. That's why I have my bottle of water, sorry. Yes, thank you. So I am 27 years old. As you can see, I am president of this association, Toulouse Nocturne, and also Occitanie Nocturne, which is the region. And what is night? Night, this is, for example, hi, how are you? My name is Chris, and you? What?
Tamara.
Tamara, okay, how do you feel? Night? Oh, okay, this is that night. Night is to be together and with any frontiers, mixity or mixed, I don't know the word in English. So this is to be in empathy, in a way. What I'm going to talk about, this is the story of my life. Because I am a chief editor of a magazine in Toulouse, south of France, but we're going to be boring after about Toulouse, Airbus, and so Quakers, and what we do. But first, my life. Chief editor of a magazine, Midnight Magazine. It's a free magazine in Toulouse, south France, and talking about everything, transport, security, night workers, and risk prevention. So I've created this magazine in 29, so I was very young. I was about, I don't know, 18 years old. And it was the first step, or the first stage of my commitment in night. Because in 2013, for 4 years after, in 2013, there were an election in France of night mayors in Paris, Toulouse, and Nantes, 3 towns. And when I heard that, it was a real surprise. I was amazing. So it was great. It was possible for me not only to write articles about night, but to talk to people and to be one of, in a way, a leader, to talk about the transport at night, to talk about what is a bar, a club, about prevention, and to make awareness our public authorities, not only in France, but in Toulouse, about the reality of the night. And what was very amazing, there are no culture of night in Toulouse. This is a city with I have to know, this is me in Tel Aviv. It was also a conference because there are a lot of conferences about nighttime economy in Tel Aviv. Here, this is another guy, and I'm very happy because this is a great thing to have a night mayor, but an official night mayor. I am not an official night mayor. I am a free man. It's good because I can talk about everything with in totally independence of the city hall of my town. So it's good. But in a way, it's very hard to progress and to settle things if you have no real power of a city hall, according to me. So you see, 2 towns. Our town, Toulouse, is smaller, but the area is very, very big. It was just to show that we are now a very big family. According to me, no, it's important. It's nobody talk about Mirik. Maybe you talk about the enough. Yes, you talk about that. Yeah. No, it still exists because when you go on the website of the NAF, yeah. Okay. This is our city hall where it's hard to enter and to speak with the authorities for me about night because of way of mind. You have some marks about Toulouse. You can read, when I have been elected night mayor in 2013, the first stage was to go in the streets and to talk to people, to be a real politics man in a way, to listen to what was wrong in our city, the strong things and the weakness thing, and it was so an association, and the first things which we have to work on was transport. And it was 4 months before the municipal election in France. So all candidates were very excited. And I've decided to meet them in front of media and to talk about what are you going in your program about nights. And first was transport. So 6 months later, after the election of the official mayor of Toulouse, he decided to spread out the schedule of the metro. We have a metro in Toulouse until 1 o'clock in the evening, and now it's until 3 o'clock in the morning. It was great. I was so happy because my voice has been heard by the city hall, but just during 6 months. After, not a lot of things, because the city hall is more in a way of, not life, of sanction, of the bar owners, of people, for example, who drink in the streets. So it's not a real policy of transverse policy about everything. So, but we're going to talk about that later. So here are some pictures. You can see our plane, which is also your plane, if you want. The space, the river Garonne, okay. A city with a lot of students. That's why it's also complicated, because we have a small center with a lot of people on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evening. And these people drink a lot. This is not the same man as you in Tbilisi. Yesterday evening, for example, I was surprised to see people very cool, not aggressive. In my city, I'm not a good ambassador of Toulouse, I'm sorry, but in a way, it's a nice town, it's a wonderful city, but it's not very quiet at night. You have to be careful when you are in Toulouse at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the evening, in the night. Because of drink, because of drugs, because maybe the economic situation of our country, which is very hard. Maybe you follow the actuality of our country with manifestations. We call this town the Pink City. You have also bricks like that in Tbilisi, I've seen that. Big university, and people in front of the city hall, a lot of terrace, a lot of noise, so you talk about that, and a lot of difficulties to manage a bar in this city. And the future is a new exhibition park, beautiful one. And also, the future, this is this building, which is beautiful, no? Yeah. 1,500 bars and restaurants, so a lot of people can come and parties in Toulouse. We are not very far from Barcelona. It's 3 hours and a half by car. So people who have a lot of money in Toulouse don't have parties in our city, because it is a big city and also a small city. So people don't want to show that this is a French mind, don't want to show their money. So they go to Barcelona to have party, you know. This is France. We have a problem with money in our country. Our association, France, okay? So, just to continue the story about my life. So, election, the metro, very good thing. We decided to organize very big meetings in order to talk with all people in our city to know what is good and not good, what we have to do, what we have to write. And after we have published a white paper with 80 testimonies of night workers in order to consult people. What is good for you? What can we do in our city to be the best, for example? To have other offers at night. So it was the foundation for me to talk to people, to listen to people, to talk with them, like I've done, to try to write things as a journalist, and to convince the public authorities of my city to do things. Okay, but there is a real problem with this title of Night Mayor, because when you say, and when you walk in the streets in Toulouse and you say, oh, Chris, yes, how do you do, Mr. Christophe, Night Mayor? The real mayor of my city is angry because it's a question of ego, you know. So there is only one mayor. So I think this is a great thing that Tbilisi has decided to name an official night mayor, because there is a real limit in my action today. I try to work really with my city hall, asking to the mayor, okay, we can do things together, but it was not possible. But I remember, Mirik, you talk about that in Amsterdam. It takes long time to be together with the official mayor. So, but 5 years now, so I'm tired, you know, that's why I'm going to stay here in Tbilisi with you. So, I just told you that I met also the candidate of municipal, but also regional election, and also during the presidential election, in order to awareness and highlight the reality of night. I went to Paris in the different government department, to present our actions. Okay, you can see the white paper. We have published the action, very important, risk prevention guide. Okay, we talk about, this is the first step also, to inform, to make campaign, to talk about what are the use. There is no school to learn how to behave at night. It will be necessary to have one. So it talks about sex, about drugs, about if you are aggressed by night, what to do in front of someone. And I go in school, university, to talk to young people and students about what they have not to do. But, for example, you know, in France, about sexuality, people like to touch. We are very tactile. I don't know if this is the right word, but we'd like to touch people, okay, at night. So. And we have a lot of tentative of rape in our city. Sometimes it's 100 or 200 per month of girls. We go to the police to say he tried to rape me. Okay, so when I am in the university and I talk to students, I say, when a girl tell you, I don't know, my darling, that's mean, no, I don't want, okay? And we have a lot of campaign actually in France about sex and about aggression, because there is some special attitude of men. So this is not very positive, but I don't know what are your cultural feelings between men and women here. But we have to talk about that in Toulouse, because this is a real, also a real problem. So in this guide you have some information about that, about to prepare your night, to eat, because we have some, often this is girls, we have girls, for example, we say, oh no, I'm not going to eat, because if I eat and I drink, I'm going to be, how do you say, fat? Yes, I'm going to, yes, understand. Okay, so, but when you go out, you have to prepare your party. This is important. This is basic, it seems basic, but people don't know that. So we've made, this is right, yeah, okay. This risk prevention guide, debate, talk with people, with public authorities, elected representative, and so, intervention in school, and a very big project, because I talked to you about transport with metro. It is a Friday and Saturday, but the parties night are most on Thursday for students. This is, I don't know, it's the same thing here, but on Thursdays a lot of people get out, and our transport stop at midnight, after nothing, only Uber. We have only 15, imagine, the city is a big city. We have 50 taxis in Toulouse at night. So this is a problem to find a taxi, thanks to Uber. And I have decided to implement this driver, your driver, without any subvention, any help of anybody. Just McDonald's, because it was a partner, we gave us some money, but not a lot. It was important for me to propose to people a new transport until midnight until 7 o'clock in the morning, to go from the center to suburb, where we have a lot of clubs, and to secure night. And during 6 months, we had 3 buses in Toulouse, and I think the city was not very happy, because they thought it was a sort of promotion of my ego, and I don't mind. What is important for me is to progress, and if the city hall were ready to take my driver and to do it and to pay, it's perfect. I'm just here, I'm just a voice of the nice, and if tomorrow everything will be okay, I will do other thing. I don't know, maybe a clubber. We also try to create a center of night, which is called with emergency for people who are very bad, who drank too much and drugs. Yesterday evening it was the case. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but I helped in the stadium club someone, a very young guy, who drank too much, and so I think we have to at night to be together and to help each other, not to be alone, never. So this is the bus, your driver, someone like you with the hair. Here are some pictures of intervention in the streets, prevention clubs, university, with emergency teams. So we have made, and I have made some proposal, for example, at the government, for the government to create a study group and to think of the night, life at night, but in France, it has been refused by our government. They are not ready to do it. Also to work with the trade union, but it was also difficult, because we wrote a draft about how to help club owners about prevention, for example, and because this is a trade union, they don't want to be in conflict, because in our city, when you talk about prevention to a club owner, they said, "Oh, this is not my job. You know, I don't want to put some condoms on the bar and to have fresh water. You know, this is not my job. I'm just here to make money." Okay, so this is not the same culture as I think so in Amsterdam or in Berlin about prevention, but we try to change things. And also something that Mirik talked about yesterday, the creative footprint. We proposed the creative footprint to our city hall 8 months ago, and I'm waiting for the answer of the city hall to think about that. So, good luck. But there is good things, benefits. Okay, raise public awareness of the need to think the city at night. So I think it's a good way. The metro, I talk about, and a study about the level, because we are here to talk about the nighttime economy. So we, in Paris, a study about the economic weight of the night in Toulouse 4 years ago. During 3 years, the city hall thought about it. Are we going to do it? Or yes, no, maybe it's possible. How much is it? And so a long time. And now we are waiting for the result of this study. But this is one of the foundation, according to me. It's to know how many people are working at night in your city. We know that in France we have 3.5 million people who are working from 9 o'clock in the evening until 6 o'clock in the morning. So a lot of people. We know the figures in Europe. Do you know how many people are working at night in Europe? It's 40 millions. 40 millions, so it's a lot of people. This is a very serious subject. Night. And workers at night, we have to take care of them about health, because after six or 7 years working at night, there are a lot of consequences on your health. So this is one of my job. It's to awareness and to explain that if you work at night, take care of you, because it's not very good for your health. This is not a dream. This is not something you have to do all your life. And it reduces the time of your life. 7 years, 10 years, yes. Well, talk about policy formulation. Well, this is, maybe you know, so this is Paris, not Toulouse. The government, there. 2 sentences. I'm going to drink some. You can read the sentences. It's important for a city hall or a future nightmare to know the background of that. And there is a urban charter, very old one, so we are all concerned by that, about this right of the city. But in this charter, it only talks about the right of the city. Day and night, night and day, we don't know. But there is a right of the city to remember. So when I talk to the elected representative to my city, I say, oh, remember, there is a right to the city, and there is no curfew at 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. All people don't sleep at this hour. And there is what we talked about yesterday, this competition between cities to attract city breakers. Yes. We have a very small chapter in our tourism development in Toulouse about this city breakers attraction, and not so much. So more in Paris. And this is a night economic level, but in fact, even if you talk about that, and this is very clear, there is no real decision to set transverse nighttime policy in Toulouse. This illustration, some theory, very boring, but maybe it's going to help you to understand. And it's awful because we always talk about nights and problems about nights. That's why first I try to sometimes to talk about dream, about this is a part of the day, very charming. You can meet a lot of people, you can be together, you can listen to music, you can make love, you can see, okay. So, but we always talk about the problem at night. Maybe in 10 years it's going to change, I hope so. I told you, transverse way to think the city. So, transport, security, health, tourism, culture, and so on, so on, so on. So that's all these experts or competence, you know. In the city, you have that during the day, but they forgot to work at night about this, how do you say, competence, yes, maybe. So, for example, to think about, we talk about a museum, open the museum at night because it's a good thing to attract people. And libraries in Toulouse, for example, our libraries close at 7. But when you are a student, you have to work after 7 o'clock. So it's necessary to think to spread out the time, the schedule of the libraries until 11 or midnight. To welcome students. Swimming pool also. When you work during the day, the swimming pools are closed at 7 o'clock, and after you don't practice swim at 4 o'clock in the day. And the other thing, because I talk about right, but also this is not a no-go area. So this is not because we are in the night that we can do everything. We can talk louder, we can drink, we can aggress people, we can... no, it's not a no-go area. So there is a due and right. Well, this is my girlfriend. This is me after my party this evening, Tbilisi, good remember. So first stage, identify problems, yes. And is it a simple perception? This is important because, for example, about security, a lot of people have this a feeling of insecurity. And when you read studies about the security, there is not real problem, but you feel insecurity. But why? So we have to study that. Is it objective or not? And you have here the different things to work about. Well, the foundation, in a way, thank you to you, because this is my future program, maybe for the municipal election in 1 year and a half in France. That's 5 years later. According to me, what you read here, it would have been made in Toulouse 2 years after the election of our official mayor, like in Paris and in Nantes. An official deputy mayor, an high council, and to create a conference, and so on, so on, so on. So we can. So this is, in a way, simple to do, but you need volunteer. You need a wish, a real wish of the elective representative. Studies. If you do all that, you can work on a real policy at night. And I hope that tomorrow there were no more night mayor or deputy mayor of the night, but all elective every elected representative in a city hall has to include this competence, has to think a urban project day and night. I have to think about health day and night. I have to think about culture day and night. But not only one person in the city hall. All of the city hall has to think like that. So find solutions, because we are, in a way, we are dreamers about the night. We can see everything. This is an experimentation. We can do a lot of things, but we have to find solutions acceptable by all. So the inhabitants, neighbors, talk about it, and clubs owners. And in 2015. When I wrote this white book papers, you know, we had 50. I wrote 50 recommendations. This is a real program. Sorry. Trade and services, first tape. Okay, I'll let you read that, but this is important to have a serious proposal. For example, and we talked together about that yesterday evening, about the night workers. When you have children, how can you work at night and to have children? It's complicated. So it's necessary to deploy some child care system. I don't know how, but this is one way of services to bring. To be attractive, organize nocturne. It is shopping, like night shopping, you know, to attract also people. Transport. So we have a nocturne bus. This is a bus on Thursday, just one way until from midnight to 4 o'clock in the morning. I talked about that. Propose a night rate offer in the car park, because this is very expensive. You can have to pay 15 or 20 euros to park your car in the center of Toulouse at night. So it was a good thing, because the mayor of Toulouse has decided to have just a rate of 5 euros from 7 p.m. until 3 o'clock in the morning. So to attract people to make business. About culture, this is one thing we have to work in Toulouse, because we have only culture events, regional culture events, not something very large. We can attract people from Tbilisi or Barcelona or Amsterdam. So if you want to be attractiveness, you need to create something very important. And to think about people at night, you know, in different spaces. Okay, I talked about that, about this policy to attract people, a night tourism offer and night journeys. It's time to, yes, okay, I do. Social action for people who sleep in the streets in our city, a lot of people. I talk about health consequences, social restaurant also, homeless people. So you can see the transverse thing of a policy. And about security, it's important to develop more and more campaigns to inform people of about the risk at night, to go in schools, to work with young people on projects. We have a charter of nightlife, which has been signed by 200 clubs owners in Toulouse, but this is just a paper. In this charter of nightlife, you have some points about to take care of people who drink too much and emergency services and so, but nothing is really done in this city about that. And something, yeah, you have to think of, you know, the light pollution. This is a way, because you can light a city, but you can also have light pollution. It's not a good thing, so you have to work in your policy about that. So my conclusion, that you can read also, it's we have a lot of work to do. I work only about Toulouse. I hope the next mayor of my city is going to take in charge really this policy of nightlife, because we are only, according to me, in a policy with a lot of sanction. It's very hard for a club owner to work, because if, for example, his terrace is just 1 meter out of the square authorized, is going to be sanctioned. Okay, if you drink in the streets, you can be sanctioned also. So it's very hard to have fun and to work in this condition, because there is not a real transverse think and mind about that. So I hope it was interesting, not too long. According to me, this is not only negative, because since 5 years I talked a lot about that. So slowly people are going to change. I hope you are going to change very fast in your city, but I think you are very open-minded. So thank you very much to have listened to me.